Imagine getting into a relationship with an incubus slash warlock and you have...
An incubus or succubus is a sexual demon that comes into your dream to have sexual interactions with you.
Succubi usually come at 2 a.m. and incubi usually come at 4 a.m. The reason why they're a little harder to track than other spirits is because they will come, mark you, and then leave.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just...
Imagine getting into a relationship with an incubus slash warlock and you have no idea. Story time. So this is my first story time, so bear with me because there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, okay? A little backstory. I was young. I was probably about around 19 or 20 at the time. And I had a lot of options, a lot of people that I was entertaining. And for the sake of the story, we're going to call him Terrence, okay? So when Terrence came around, this was like, again, I had a lot of options, a lot of people I was talking to. He was really attractive. But at the time, I was kind of focused on somebody else. So I didn't really pay him no mind. I wasn't really stunning him like that. And I kind of just kicked him to the curb. Like, bye, Terrence. You ain't really talking about nothing anyway, right? So fast forward, maybe like 3 or 4 months down the line, the guy who I was talking to, me and him had stopped talking and Terrence came back around. Now, this wasn't really weird because we already know dudes spin the block more than the cars do. So he was like, okay, let me try to give you a chance then. Now he DMs me on Instagram. He's like, what you been doing? Where you been? Let's link up. You know, let's go on a date. So I'm like, okay, cool. You coming correct. Let's go. Let's go on a date. Where we going? So Terrence was one of those type of people who he loves doing eventful things like going bowling or going to the studio. He likes to be in the mix. A little background about Terrence. Both of us are from Atlanta. We're from the east side and he was like a local Atlanta rapper. Now, because we're both from the east side is very small. So you may either know them or know of them. That's just how it is. You're going to run into people that you know all the time. So it never surprised me, like, whenever we would go out with some of his folks, that I would know some of these people or know of them. It's kind of like, oh, you know them? Okay. I gotta put on a little bit more lip gloss. Perfect. Now, back to the story. So it probably had been a month because I started talking to him a little bit after my birthday. So it had to be late September, early October. By now, we done been going on dates. He done brought me around some of his people. He done brought me to the studio with him. You know, I'm starting to feel him. And one of the guys who he was cool with, he had a girlfriend. So whenever we would go to his spot, his girlfriend would be there. Me and her would just, you know, duck off, do our own thing, talk crazy. And, you know, that's just how it was. So I kind of started to develop a relationship, a real relationship, right? So like I said, it had been a month and now it's getting ready to be November. It's getting ready to be Thanksgiving. So he kind of put it in the air that he wanted me to come to his family's house for Thanksgiving, but it was still in the air, so I didn't really take it seriously. I'm also a very private person. If you ever have a conversation with my mom, it's only for safety reasons. So she knows who you are, who I'm with, and what you look like. Other than that, you probably won't have another conversation with her until I'm ready for you to have a conversation with her. So boom, I accept the invitation to come to his family's house for Thanksgiving. Now, little side note, ladies, when a man tell you that his car is in the shop, that means he don't got no car. And he probably never did, okay? For real. But that was him. He said that his car was in the shop. Now, me being a little young and naive, I went for it. And on top of that, he was kind of successful in his rap career. Or at least, again, he had a lot of people that knew him. He was very popular. So it was like, yeah, you gonna blow. He had good music, too. I can't take that away from him. So it wasn't like I suspected anything. I couldn't say that he was lying or not. But at the end of the day, you don't have a car. But I'm young. He's young. We both trying to get it together. I literally just got into my apartment. So it's like, who am I to judge? Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. red flag. Should never did that. So we get to his family's house, and upon us getting there, like literally everybody is welcoming me in. I feel like I'm a part of this family. I actually know his cousin because I went to school with his cousin. So me and his older cousin, I can't even remember his name, but for the sake of the story, we're just gonna call him cousin. Okay, so I knew his cousin, which made me feel a little bit more, comfortable. And then everybody was just so nice, complimenting me, just welcoming me in the family. I feel like I was at home. So I guess everything went good in his mind, and he decides like, okay, now we're going to go to another event. This one was going to be more for people our age. His homeboy was throwing something. So we went, had a good time, drinks, food. It was lit. Now, this is a side note. I was on my cycle. I was probably on my 4th day, and I'm pretty deep in my cycle at this point. It's getting ready to go off, but at the same time, just a little side note. Now, up until this point, we hadn't been to each other's houses yet. We hadn't did any of that spending the night. We hadn't had sex. We just kind of was just getting to know each other, feeling each other out. He did ask me if I wanted to come to his house. So I'm like, sure. I feel like at this point, I'm a little ready to seal the deal, but it's like, I trust him a little bit more. Now I can go to your house. Now you can come to my house. We get to the house. It's a beautiful house. I mean, it's one of those like, how you get this house? You know what I mean? Like, you so young. And then it was other cars in the driveway. But I'm a little drunk. I'm not paying it no mind. He shows me the car that's messed up, that needed to be in the shop. So now I kind of believe his story a little bit more. We go straight upstairs, go in the room. I don't really have time to look around. And I don't like looking around in people's house anyway when I first get there. Kind of like, let me stay to myself. We take showers, we get ready for bed, and of course, he gonna do what a man gonna do. Try to get all cozy with me, kissing on me, hugging on me, everything, trying to get him some. So the first time, of course, I'm like, no, I didn't come over here to do all that. I just came over here to spend some time with you. I'm gonna leave in the morning. Kind of just like, it's not that easy. You're not gonna get it that quick, The second time, he tried to do it again. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? No, we ain't doing nothing. No. And I don't want to tell him I'm on my period because it's not really his business. If I say no, then that's just what it is and you got to respect it. So I'm getting sleepier. It seems like he's like, okay, whatever. He's getting sleepy, but then he tries it again. And at this point, he tries it again. So now I'm like, you know what? No, I'm on my period. Because now you're getting on my nerves. I'm not finna keep telling you. So at this point, this is when a red flag comes in. He's like, it's nothing but a little bit of blood. I mean, period don't stop nothing but a sentence. I can use a condom. Really trying to push me to go for it. So at this point, I'm feeling a little pressure. I'm a little drunk. I don't want to drive all the way home. And I'm just like, you know what? Okay, whatever. I'm about to get off my period anyway. But it just didn't feel right. Everything in me was saying, no, I don't want to do this. And I had already told him I didn't want to do this. But it was just like, okay, whatever. So, boom. Next morning, I'm woken up to a whole bunch of noise, and he's nowhere to be found. I get up, I put my clothes on, I'm getting ready to walk out the door. He comes back in. He said, where you going? I said, I'm about to go. I got errands to run. I got other stuff to do. And I was like, and then what's all that noise? Because I kind of like, I got woken up out of my sleep too. I'm ready to go home. He's like, oh, well, I stay with my mom, my stepdad, my brother, my sister, her 2 kids. And they had a dog. So this is a full house. This is a family house. I'm like, oh no, this is a little bit deeper than your car being in the shop. Now I'm really turned off. Now I'm really ready to go. He picked up on my vibe and he was like, well, before you leave, I want you to go meet my mom again. And I'm like, why? Because I kind of already met her, but I guess in his defense, we hadn't really had a real conversation because it was at Thanksgiving. Everybody was talking. I knew that they were cool. I just didn't know them like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Little conversation ain't gonna hurt. The way the house was set up, the top level was where all the rooms were. The middle level were the living room, garage, kitchen. And then the bottom level was the basement. Bottom level was really nice. Almost like a little man cave. It had a bar, pool table, another room where a TV. It was really nice. As we're going downstairs, everything in me keeps telling me, don't go down there. Don't go downstairs. Just go home. Tell him something, make something up. But I didn't know what my intuition was at the time. I just felt anxious and I didn't know why. So we get downstairs and it feels like I'm in a movie scene. It feels like I'm in the movie Get Out because everybody is kind of in their place. Like The mom and the stepdad is in there where the pool table is. The brother and the sister is in there where the bar is. And it's nice down there. But I still feel like something is not right. Immediately, the mom is like, it feels like she's like scanning my body, like scanning me up and down. But out of her mouth is a lot of compliments. It's, oh, I've been talking to him, asking him, who been having you smiling? Y'all are such a wonderful couple. Y'all look so good together. If y'all had babies, the babies would be so handsome or so beautiful. I mean, like literally selling me. And here come the stepdad co-signing, like, yeah, he been walking around here happy-go-lucky. You must have been the one that had him out late. Just doing things to push me. Now I'm kind of feeling like, oh, they really like me. They really want us to be together. Now, a little thing to add. I had a lot of situationships. I wasn't really used to all of the affection. He was extremely affectionate. Always wanted to kiss me, hold my hand, and show me off. So I'm thinking, like, this boy really liked me. Y'all, the mom was the mastermind behind everything that's getting ready to lead up to the next level of events. I had no idea. Okay, y'all, this is part 2 as requested. So because we didn't give her a name, we're going to name Mama Miss Shirley. Miss Shirley was like the boss. She was like the one pulling the strings and running the show. She made it a thing that I needed to be at the next event that they were going to have. If it wasn't the next day, it was in the same week. And it was one of those, like, you better be there invitations. I'll be looking for you. Now, remember I told y'all the night before, I didn't do a lot of looking around because I was kind of drunk. Well, the next morning, I was sober. So I kind of peeped out some of the things that he had in his room. This was before we actually went downstairs to talk to Miss Shirley. I noticed that he had an altar. I guess his grandma had passed away. And it was nothing on the altar that really was alarming. It was just a few things like money, candles, things that were hers when she was still living. But then I also noticed he had a set of beads on the altar. I hadn't even noticed the altar or the beads there. Had he not picked them up, I wouldn't have even recognized it. Once he picked them up, he put them around his neck, and I kind of asked him, like, what is that? He told me that he was in E5. That's an important piece to the story. Because he was open and honest about it, I kind of was just like, oh, okay. I didn't really take to the negative connotations that I've heard about it. But majority of the people that I've known that has been in it were kind of off or into a lot of dark stuff. Now, the crazy thing about Terrence was that I never really seen him working, but mysteriously, he would always have money. A little side note, when I first met Terrence, I had been dancing for like maybe a year and a half. So I always carried a lot of money on me. I know. I don't even want to hear what y'all got to say. I was young. I mean, the type of money I would carry would be like $2,000 to $3,000. Again, I know. Sometimes when I would get off work, I would count my money in front of him, or at least kind of like straighten out my ones. But we had built up at least a little bit of trust to where I felt like I can do this type of stuff in front of him. Every so often, he would come to the house with gifts for me, earrings or necklaces, flowers, like little things like that. And to show my appreciation, I would start gifting him things in return. Simple stuff, like if he wanted a game for his PS5, I would do that. Cologne or glasses, just little things. Just to kind of show that it was being reciprocated. Because I always knew exactly how much money I had on me, I never really had the urge to count my money again. I don't know, again, I was young. Fast forward, next event. I get there and I'm there probably all of an hour and a half, not that long. But Miss Shirley made sure that her eyes was on me the entire time I was there. Now, again, I had been around his family, but not enough to where I just felt super comfortable being alone for long periods of time. It's a little awkward when you don't know people. He had went somewhere. I didn't even know he left. And at that time, I would give him my keys, or he would take the other car that was upstairs and he would just vanish. For example, he may ask for my keys, say he about to get something out the car or run to the store. But if he didn't say he was going anywhere, I would only know he was gone because his sister would tell me he was gone. Now, we're going to call the sister Aaliyah. Aaliyah don't have a real big role in this story, but it was only a few things that I felt like God put in her to tell me that made her a little significant in the story. That night, he ended up leaving. I don't know where he went, and that pissed me off. I'm downstairs. The sister notices me. She's like, you want to get a drink? You know, we at the little bar downstairs in the basement. And we kind of get to talking, and, you know, she got his videos playing. And that was another thing. It was like they kind of worshipped him. And I'm not saying that if you a rapper or an artist that your family is not supposed to support you. I mean, it's a blessing to have people that support you, especially in your family, because we know it's never close to home when you're doing something new. But it was like, I'm the type of person, I don't care if you're a rapper or not. We're not going to listen to you all day. I need to listen to some Future, some Lil Baby. Throw it in there, okay? She seemed like the only normal one in the bunch. Again, it gave Get Out vibes. She seemed like the one that will be able to warn you, in which she did, but she can't say too much because she's still a part of it. So we get to talking. She kind of trying to get to know me. She's asking me questions, asking me where do we meet. She's talking about how they did the music video at this big mansion. You know, we just kind of exchanging things. So then she kind of gets into telling me like how her brother Terrence is. Telling me like, you know, what type of girls that he's brought around in the past. Now, this is a pivotal point in the story because I feel like she really wanted to go deeper into his type. But she didn't want to expose everything. Again, because she still was playing her role. But what she said was kind of like a riddle. It's like, my brother is simple. All you have to do is play the game how the game is played with him. All you have to do is stay ahead and you'll win. Now, I'm all for the puzzle pieces. I'm all for the rhyming games. But in that moment, it felt like, what are we really talking about? What are you trying to say? And so I asked her, well, what does that really mean? She was like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's not really that big of a deal. You know how it is with these men. Circling it back to, okay, let me put my game face back on because now I see the mama at the door. And she was giving me that same look that she gave me the first time she saw me and spoke to me in the basement. So at this point, I'm kind of blowing his phone up. I'm not uncomfortable, but the vibe is starting to kind of change. The sister done said something a little throwed off and off the wall. It's in my head. The mama is sitting here looking crazy like an investigator, peeping the scene out, trying to stay neutral. But it's kind of weird. So he finally gets back. And now it kind of seems like a lot of people are starting to leave or move upstairs. At this point, it's kind of just me and him downstairs in the basement. And I'm like, what you been up to? Where you been? And why you didn't tell me you had my car and you was doing this, that, and the third? Now, another pivotal thing to point out. He had brown eyes, hazel eyes. Like without the sun, you can still see the brown in his eyes. This particular night though, his eyes were like pitch black. His voice sounded very different. It didn't feel like I was talking to him. So as you can imagine, I'm irritated, I'm mad, I'm going off on him. Yes, I was a little bit of the drama, but I didn't care because you got my car. I don't know where you are. You acting real strange and crazy right now. What's up? On top of that, his phone kept blowing up. He said it was his cousin, but I was more so pissed off about my car, so I kind of really just threw all that to the wolves. We get into it. I basically tell him, like, I don't even have to deal with you. Like, I don't have to be over here type thing. Actually, I'm about to go. Now, he looks me dead in the face, like, with the most blank expression, and was like, you don't really want to know the other side of me. It was like chills ran down my spine. I'm telling y'all, it felt like I was talking to something dark. At this point, I brushed past him because I'm like, whatever, bye. He grabs me, throws me up against the wall. And at this point, I kind of like mush him, like, get off me. He said it again. He said, you don't want to know the real me. I'm trying not to show you the real me. So eventually, he kind of lets me go. I walk upstairs. He follows me outside. And then he starts saying, like, I'll get my mama on you. So I'm like, what you gonna get your mama? You think your mama gonna beat me up? He had like this devilish smile on his face. It was so creepy. It was so eerie. I was like nervous. And in that moment, it felt like No, she don't gotta touch you. So after that, I pretty much leave. I don't talk to him for a couple of days. He end up calling me a few times, apologizing. I let him back in. I was young. And he came bearing gifts. Now remember I told y'all, I carried a lot of money. So I didn't really have the urge to count my money all the time because I knew exactly how much I would have on me. And it's another thing to note. Pay attention to when you feel like, especially when you're dealing with a man, it's always like a sense of competition, because that's how it was with me.
An incubus or succubus is a sexual demon that comes into your dream to have sexual interactions with you. A succubus is a female sexual demon and an incubus is a male sexual demon. If you are having sexual dreams and you can literally feel the sensation of having sex or whatever else in that dream, gotta tell you right now, it's probably a succubus or an incubus. Whenever you have a sexual dream, you're supposed to only know that you're having a dream like that. You're not supposed to literally feel it. This girl posted on Twitter that she had a sex dream and she woke up with a hickey. That is not supposed to happen. If you wake up after having a sexual dream and you see like bruises and scratches or whatever on your body, I'm telling you right now, there is a demon around you. This also commonly happens around the time that you have a lot of sleep paralysis, as there are a lot of evil spirits around you. What they do is they try to latch onto your energy to suck you dry, basically. You will usually have a choice of whether or not you will interact with the sexual demon in your dream, so choose not to.
The angrier it seemed like he started to get.
And I encountered a whole succubus in Cali on my mama I did. Made me not even want to link up with random people no more. Nigga, I almost went to jail and everything. On this particular day, me and my partner decided to not hang with the colored folk and went and linked up with our light-skinned counterparts. And I experienced some crazy, freaky, traumatic stuff, bro. You might hear this story and take it for face value, but I see the deeper meaning behind stuff. I see the deeper spiritual meaning behind stuff. You gotta put your spiritual eyes on to see what I see. Before I tell this story, viewer discretion is advised. Alright, so boom, me and my partner, we on our little adventure, you know what I'm saying? We riding around, you know what I'm saying? This particular day, I gotta shoot a music video. As we riding around, you know what I'm saying, me and him talking about God, we talking about water spirits, we talking about succubus, we talking about the story about Jezebel and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? They have Jezebel inside of most of these females. I'm telling him stuff like, bro, you gotta watch them females that be trying to entice you into having sexual relations, especially the ones that ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, cause nigga, they gonna drain you of your energy. And around this time, we practicing celibacy and trying to have sexual discipline, you feel what I'm saying? So anyway, we riding around chopping it up about that. And we end up going to the mall because I got to get some clothes for my video shoot. We go to Neiman Marcus, I end up getting my clothes or whatnot. We started getting hungry, so we decided to get something to eat at this expensive Italian restaurant bar in the middle of the mall. When we sit down at the bar, it's a whole bunch of wealthy, light-skinned counterparts that's sitting around at the bar with us also. So me, around this time, I'm being friendly. I want to know what everybody do and how they make their money and what can they teach me. So, you know, I'm just showing my bubbly social butterfly side. Hi, how you guys doing? How's the food? You know, just being friendly with people. And as I'm doing that, I'm noticing it's a couple that keep on watching me. So they watching me so hard, I go over there and speak to them to break the ice. We end up conversating and I find out that they married millionaires. She own her own cosmetic line and he a flight attendant. And they also invested in real estate and stuff like that. So we conversating and my homeboy chopping it up with the husband and I'm talking to the wife. And as me and the wife talking, she just kept on saying, I love your energy. I love your energy. Oh my God, I just love your energy. So anyway, me and her talking and we end up getting on the subject of zodiac signs and stuff like that. She was like, oh my God, what's your sign? Because you're just so vibrant and stuff like that. And I'm like, I used to label myself as a Scorpio, but I don't associate myself with zodiac signs no more. So I'm just a child of God. So when I say that, she like, oh my God, I love the way you think. You're so spiritual. So anyway, the conversation was getting so good and the vibe was just so right at the time that they invited us out to eat later on. And after we go out to eat, they invited us back to their house. Y'all, I didn't sense nothing weird about this. Well, I take that back. I did sense in my spirit that she was flirting with me and he was a little bit too chill with the way she was acting around me. Then I started thinking, maybe she's just super friendly and maybe he's just a chill guy that's confident in his relationship. I should have just went with my first mind, bro. So anyway, they sent us the address to where we gonna meet at. And it's this nice, expensive restaurant that's on the hill sitting next to the ocean. And they say they gonna pay for everything. So I'm like, bad. Free food, light-skinned counterparts, no drama. What could possibly go wrong? So I end up shooting part of my music video or whatnot. And as I'm shooting my music video, the husband and the wife keep on texting me and my partner asking where we at, and is we ready to go out to eat. They text us so much, I'm like, dang, bro, why they so anxious for us to come? Why they so anxious for us to pull up? So anyway, we brush it off. I text them back and say, hey, we gonna be there in 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? No, don't rush us, you know what I'm saying? We gonna be there. So we end up pulling up to this restaurant or whatnot. The restaurant had a nice, beautiful setting. The ocean was right next to the restaurant. We can see all the hills and stuff. They had a lot of nice luxury cars in the front. They got security guards all around and stuff like that. It's full of light-skinned counterparts. I'm like, bet, this a vibe. So we end up parking and stuff, and we had to pay like $45 just to park. We end up walking to the front, and the security guard stopped us and asked us, do we have reservations? And I'm like, no, I ain't know nothing about no reservations. And a woman I met come to the front and stop the security guard and say, hey, they're with me. So boom, we get in and stuff. We having a good time, but whole time, her husband is nowhere to be found. So I'm asking, like, where's your husband? Where your husband at? I expected him to be here too, like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted all of us to have a good time. And as I'm asking her that, out of nowhere, she just started crying. Then she started saying, F him, I don't want to be with him anymore. He doesn't know how to treat a woman. I don't want to be with him anymore. And I'm like, bro, what just happened in the span of 45 minutes? So she getting loud to the point to where the security guards got to calm her down. And I'm looking at my partner like, bro, what we done got ourselves into? So after this, she calmed down and whatnot, and she called the waitress by name and tell the waitress to bring her some drinks. But as she asking for the drinks, the waitress looking at us like, and I'm looking at my partner like, bro, you peeped that? But I brush it off. Cause we in a nice setting, the security guards, we out in the public. What could possibly go wrong? We good. So the waitress come back with the drinks and she go down, and I'm talking about going ham. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, bro, I did not come to babysit no drunkard. So after she finished drinking all her drinks and whatnot, she keeping her composure. She ain't talking with no slurs. She ain't doing none of that, right? So we all started back talking. As I'm talking about different conversations with her and my partner, I heard her whisper, I want both of y'all. And I stopped and I'm like, what you just say? And she said, oh, nothing, I'm fine. You can finish the conversation. So I start finishing the conversation and whatnot. And she whispered something again and say, I want y'all energy. By this time, I ain't friendly no more because I keep on hearing her saying weird stuff. I'm catching what she's saying. So I'm like, bro, what are you saying? She started crying and say, you're just like the other ones. You're going to judge me if I tell you what I really want. And I'm like, what is it that you want? She said, I need your energy. I need to feel both of you guys. And I'm like, what you mean you need to feel both of us? She said, I need your black energy. So by this time, I'm peeping what she's trying to say. And I said, excuse me, I got to go to the restroom. Tell me why, when I go to the restroom, she get up and follow behind me. So I go inside the men's restroom or whatnot. And while I'm using the restroom, I heard the door open. So I come out the stall to see who it was. And it was her. And she was like, please give it to me now. I need it. And grabbing on me and touching on me and stuff. And I'm like, bro, get up off me. And her eyes started turning red. And she was like, are you scared? Are you scared? I done had your kind before. Your kind gives the best energy. So she's trying to push me up against the stalls and stuff, and I'm pushing her hand away from me like, man, go on. And I run out the restroom because I ain't trying to catch no case. So she started screaming and she was like, help. So as I'm running out the restroom, I'm signaling my partner, bro, let's go. Like, we got to get up out of here. And I'm like, bro, let's go. So we start walking real fast out of the front door, and the security guards running to the back to the restroom. And all I heard is her coming around the corner saying, I need them. I just need their energy. Don't leave me. I need them. So we standing in the front trying to ignore the woman like, bro, she weird. So we wait on our car for ballet and stuff. And it's a black ballet dude that pulled up in our car. And when he jump out, he say, boy, y'all better get up out of here. And I was like, man, we ain't do nothing. That woman tripping. And he was like, boy, y'all really dodging a bullet. Because every weekend, that woman and her husband be coming to this restaurant with black dudes. And they always be leaving together. And after meeting them people, a couple of them black dudes on Hollywood Boulevard strung out and crazy now. Boy, I must have been so thankful and thanking God on my way back to where I was staying at, boy. Talking about dodge the real life bullet. Y'all be careful out there.
So I was home alone, lying in bed on my stomach in the nude, and I felt something crawl on top of me. So I thought, hubby's home a little early. He wants to get a little frisky. Okay. So to keep this PG rated for TikTok, we'll just say he opened up my jewelry box and put a big piece of jewelry inside. He was ever so gentle in the beginning, but then he got a little rough. Then it got a little painful. And I said, oh, no, this can't be my man. I could move my hands, I could move my arms, my head, my feet, my torso, but I couldn't move my legs. So I decided to turn around. And what did I see? I saw this beautiful built creature, olive complected, muscular. But he didn't have a face. I started saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus over and over again, and he just disappeared. I started to pray more and ask for deliverance, and I didn't have any issues with an encounter for a while, until one night it decided to F with me in my dream. But I knew what it was, and I stopped it right then, because I will not allow an entity to attach to me ever again. I wish no negative energy from this story in the name of Jesus. Amen, amen, and amen. So Incubus is a demon that takes on the male form that has sex with women, and Succubus is the demon that takes on the female form that likes to seduce and have sex with men. So that's my little quick history. So hopefully we can avoid doing part 4, 5, and 6. I love TikTok, but I'm just not about that life, okay? One night while I was lying in bed, I felt something caress my inner thigh and grope my jewelry box. So I looked over to my left and saw that my husband was lying there, sleeping. So who could be groping me? But I didn't stop it, because quite honestly, it felt good. So over the next couple of days, or the next couple of weeks, I was like, okay, spiritual husband, get it. And so I had a little affair with my little spiritual husband. Not knowing what the hell I was allowing to attach to my body. So up until this point, I never saw anything. I could only feel things. Until one day I was home alone and he actually revealed himself to me. So let me know if you're interested in knowing what I saw.
Want to get creeped out? Let's talk about the succubus. The succubus is also known as the Earth Wanderer, which is a pretty cool name. This is a female demon or supernatural entity in folklore that appears in dreams to seduce men. Another one. I don't know if she eats men though, but she seduces them. And normally she does this through schmexual activity. According to religious traditions, the succubus needs something that rhymes with perm to survive. Repeated wink wink, oh that was a terrible wink. Repeated wink wink activity between the succubus and the man will create a bond between them. Because of this, the succubus won't be able to harm or drain the man who she is getting freaky with. In modern representation, the succubus is normally presented as a beautiful seductress rather than something scary or terrifying or hideous. In medieval Jewish folklore, a woman named Lilith was Adam's first wife, and she later became a succubus. She allegedly left Adam and refused to return to the Garden of Eden after she mated with an archangel named Samuel, I believe is how you pronounce it. In some folklore, there was also 3 other women who mated with this archangel and became succubuses. Or succubi, if you want to get particular. Although a succubus might appear as a beautiful young girl, closer inspection may reveal some strange deformities. For instance, some might have bird-like claws or serpentine tails, which would freak me right out. Folklore surrounding this creature gets pretty intense and graphic, so I'm not going to give you the exact details, but let me just say this. The details are very gross of a gentleman caller who wishes to eat this creature's panini, if you get what I'm putting down here. Also, in later folklore, this creature becomes more of a siren rather than a succubus. Now, tales surrounding succubi are pretty much always portraying them as malevolent. However, they are not always so. There is one particular story about a succubus named Meridiana who got involved with and helped a pope, actually, to achieve his high role in a Catholic church. Can't help but wonder how the other priests felt about that. According to one legend, succubi collect perm from men and then give them to the incubi, which are the male version of succubuses. Succubi. The incubi would then impregnate human women with this perm, thus explaining how demons can apparently sire children. Follow for part 2.
Stop going to bed, leaving your stuff uncovered, and here's why. These past few weeks, these past few days, I've been tormented with the spirit of lust in my dreams, so heavy to the point it feels so real, and I'll wake up like, God, did this just happen? And I was so confused because I was like, God, this is nothing of my own. This is not my dragon to slay. It's already been dead and gone. I live an upstanding life. I cut out harsh secular music. I don't do anything to engage into temptation or to make me feel this way or dwell in this. So why is this here? And the Lord reminded me that when this used to occur to me a while ago, I would begin to pray that the Lord would equip me with the full armor of God in my rest. And the moment I began to pray that prayer and read that scripture last night, the Lord has delivered me just that quick because I equipped myself with his spirit. The enemy does not care. He's going to get it how he can, and he's going to make sure he sows these seeds in your life so you can act upon it. And you have to be spiritually awake even in your sleep. And so you have to start pleading the blood of Jesus, asking for the angels to be encamped round about you, because you are the most vulnerable in your rest. And the enemy is able to take advantage of that. And so we have to start discerning and asking God to be present even in our rest. We cannot be caught lacking, because the moment we're caught lacking, I could have easily been persuaded and moved by the spirits that visit me at night and then act upon it. And I refuse to go and slay a dragon that's already been dead. So be aware spiritually even in your rest. Stay awake, and that's been a reoccurring scripture. The wake up scripture, I'm gonna post it up here because I don't remember what it is. But keep yourself spiritually alert in every area of your life, because we are going through a spiritual warfare that is stopping for nobody's rest. So cover yourself in the blood, ask God to equip you with your armor, and I guarantee you, you will see results. And he is helping me, and I'm going to keep it in my routine, because I cannot be caught lacking and not wrestling against principalities. In Jesus' name, so y'all be encouraged.
Let's talk about one of my favorite movies, Jennifer's Body. I'm gonna give y'all a rundown of this classic and what Jennifer really became. Now, the Queen Megan Fox played Jennifer. She was this very popular, gorgeous high school girl that basically had her way with everything. And her best friend was this kind of like nerdy like girl, but they've been best friends since they were literally kids. And their friendship was really weird, because it's like you got this hot babe like Megan Fox, and then you got this like nerdy little girl like what was her name, Needy. So one night Jennifer wanted to go to this little bar, and their town is like really small, so it's like this little hole in the wall bar that this band called Low Shoulder was going to be performing at. Now, this band was not known. Nobody knew who they were. Jennifer just knew who they were because she liked one of the lead singers, or one of the lead people in the band. So while they were at the bar, Jennifer's best friend, the little nerdy girl I was talking about, she overheard the band talking about like how they need a virgin and how they think she's a virgin. And the friend went over and she was like, Jennifer is a virgin. That's my best friend you're talking about. And then she went over and told Jennifer, like, they're jerks. Like, they're just trying to see if you're a virgin or not. And Jennifer was like, I'm not even a backdoor virgin. But that's going to make sense in a minute why they needed a virgin. So boom, like I'm talking about the whole bar just like get engulfed with flames. I'm talking about like people were trampled on. So many people passed away at that bar, and a lot of them were like high schoolers. But somehow Jennifer and Needy found a way to escape. And whenever they walked outside, the band was just like, hey y'all, what you doing? We're just looking for y'all. Like, not like people was inside literally in flames and getting unalived. So Jennifer was literally going to their van with them. And the friend Needy was like, Jennifer, what are you doing? You're not going to go in these creepy guys' van that you don't know. Jennifer was like, shut up. And when I tell y'all, Jennifer instantly regretted it once she got in that van and they shut that door. So the name of the town that they lived in was called Devil's Kettle. And it was known to have this really like unique waterfall. So this band came there to basically sacrifice a virgin for fame. But Jennifer wasn't a virgin. So that night, they thought they unalived Jennifer during the satanic ritual and all that. But in reality, they turned her into this female demon called a succubus. And it is a supernatural demon and entity in folklore that appears in dreams to seduce men, usually through sexual activities. Because a succubus needs semen to survive, so they need to have sex with these men to basically survive and keep them alive. And in folklore, a succubus will literally drain and unalive the men that she's having intercourse with. And in modern representation, they're depicted as this gorgeous, like I'm talking about drop dead gorgeous, seductive woman, instead of like this creepy looking demon. Now in Jennifer's body, It was kind of a little different, you know, because it didn't like appear in their dreams like the actual succubus do. But she would get these men, and of course they're instantly attracted to her. She would pretend like she's having intercourse with them, and then she would literally eat them. But on the movie, it more portrayed her as like doing this to keep her youth alive. So she had to steal the youth from the young men to live youthfully. Now, anytime after she, you know, get her victim, she would come to school. I'm talking about skin is glowing. She's so happy. Like, she just is beautiful. The most beautiful she's ever been, y'all. And not to mention, everybody in this town is grieving from the loss of all these kids at the bar. She's the only one that is looking so alive and so happy. And everybody is like, girl, like we just lost 100 of our classmates and you just over here so happy and looking all luxurious and beautiful. Like what? But yeah, basically, since she wasn't a virgin, the ritual did not work. And it just gets extra crazy. Jennifer's unaliving all these other young boys and nobody knows what's going on. But the friend gets to the bottom of it. So fast forward, the friend actually, you know, unalived Jennifer because Jennifer killed her friend's boyfriend. And when she did that, Jennifer's energy and power went inside her best friend. And it was just crazy at the end because the best friend, she found that band that did that to Jennifer and she told them every which way but loose. And I'm telling you, they were famous. They like after they did that little sacrifice, even though it didn't go exactly how planned, it worked out in favor for them because the song that they was like trying to promote was like the town's like grieving song. So it was just popular. Everybody loved the band, not knowing what they did to get this fame and fortune. But let me know if you watched Jennifer Body and let me know if you knew that she was a demon called a succubus. I would love to know.
How to eliminate succubus during sleep. I melted mine. I'd be in a dream with my family and a naked woman would just walk into my dream and I'd be like, yo, I'm with my family. Like, why are you naked? But the thing is, the woman would be everything I'd want. And I don't even remember what she looked like. But I would see that and I'm like, how does a naked lady just invade my dream? And one day, I kid you not, I just was like, are you a succubus? And I like melted her in my dream. I've dreamed a million dreams. The shrieking of that was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. I can't even imitate it. I think about that all the time still to this day.
Succubi usually come at 2 a.m. and incubi usually come at 4 a.m. The reason why they're a little harder to track than other spirits is because they will come, mark you, and then leave. So if you're trying to track one or trying to get rid of one, wait until those times so you can burn them and kill them.
The time I met a succubus at a club in Atlanta. Hey Jenny, I love watching your channel, but this story is crazy. So I stopped going to the club a while back after what happened to me that night. I was in my early 20s, thinking I was invincible. Good looks, decent money, always chasing a good time. But I swear on everything I love, what I met that night was not human. It was a Friday night in Atlanta, and my boys and I pulled up to this new club that had just opened downtown. The energy was wild, women everywhere, lights flashing, bass thumping so hard it made your chest shake. The moment she walked in, everything around her seemed to slow down. She was tall, dressed black, long jet black hair that looked wet under the strobe light. Her skin had this glow like a candle wax in the dark. And her eyes didn't shine. They were deep like a void. She walked straight towards me, never breaking eye contact, and I swear it felt like I couldn't move, like I was paralyzed. She didn't talk. She just grabbed my hands, pulled me onto the dance floor, and we started dancing. But it wasn't normal dancing. It was like her body moved like a liquid smoke. Every time she touched me, my chest burnt like I was being branded. After a few minutes, she leaned over and whispered in my ears, "Let me take you somewhere darker." We left the club and went to my car. The second we got into it, I felt dizzy, lightheaded. She got on top of me, straddling me, but never undressed. She just stared into my eyes while moving in a slow, seductive rhythm. And her face began to change. Her eyes turned completely black. Her skin turned pale, grayish. And I swear, Her mouth began to stretch, revealing rows of sharp, fang-like teeth that didn't belong in a human skull. She leaned forward and whispered, "You were supposed to die tonight." I don't know how, but I managed to shove her off me and jump out of the car. I ran back to the club, shaking, sweating, my heart about to explode. My friends thought I was on something. I never saw her again, but for 7 nights straight after that, I had sleep paralysis. The same woman would appear on the foot of my bed, just watching. One night, I woke up and felt like something invisible was on top of me, pressing my chest down, draining me. It only stopped when I went on a spiritual reader, and she gave me a candle and said, and prayed. She gave me a spiritual candle and a prayer. She said, "You dance with a succubus, child. Be glad she didn't finish feeding." I haven't stepped foot in the nightclub since. And now, when I see beautiful women, I always check their eyes first, because I learned the hard way. Not every woman in the club is looking for a good time. Some are looking for a soul. Okay. Sorry, guys. I sound like I was having a heart attack there at the end, trying to finish the rest of the story. I was kind of shocked, like, what is going on? What do you mean? And I was trying to figure out how you escaped that, because you barely escaped with a hair. That's crazy. But anyways, guys, let me know if you ever come into contact with the succubus or an incubus, because apparently those are real stuff. And I think, based on what I was reading about them, apparently they have a mother, right? They have basically, like, whoever created them, whatever created them, they have to go out and go feed on people and bring her energy. And without them bringing her energy, then she will die, and eventually they will die. But what happened is, if they attach themselves to you, they're going to suck you dry until they basically unalive you and then jump to the next host. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. It's called Succubus. It's a pretty good movie. I think I'm going to have part of it in this video, explaining part of it. But it's a really, really good movie. But it kind of explains what succubus and incubus do. But from the book I was reading, apparently they have like a mothership, right? Almost like the big mother, the one that rules everything, and basically send them out to go find food and then bring back to her, like she's too big to walk, basically. At least that's how I got it. She's like too big to maneuver and go find things, so she just creates babies so they can go out and go get energy to bring back to her, and they feed on other people's energy. And once they come in contact with you, they claim you as their own, and they feed off of you, and eventually, you know, you just wake up dead. And now they gotta go find somebody else to feed on, because now they done drain all of your energy. And men, especially men, in my opinion, men who are extremely sexually active, and they always have to have the next skirt walking, and they go as far as like having to go to the next pants walking, because if you're hypersexual like that, you will have sex even with a man. Whenever you tried everything else, then I believe that you will eventually try a man too. But that's just in my opinion. People like that are the ones that usually have that inhabiting them, because it's like they need this sex in order to survive, to live. And if they don't have it, then things get bad. And in my opinion, what the succubus do in incubus, they find someone who is very weak when it comes to sex, like they have no self-control. Then they attach themselves to them, and then basically that person just shaking it everywhere, you know, collecting sex energy from everybody, and then they bring it to the person who sent them out, which is the incubus or succubus. Bring it to the mother, because she needs energy. She lives off of us, off of the people's energy. And I think this is something that maybe was created ancient years and years ago. I think it was like a pact that was created from like some sort of Google human that say, hey, we will give you life force, and you in exchange you give us knowledge for technology. I don't know, but I think it's something where they come through a portal and they attach themselves to people. But don't quote me on that. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research on this. But that's, in my opinion, that's what succubus is. And I've actually had an experience with a incubus before, a male ex-demon. And in my opinion, it was It came in the form of someone that I know and I liked, and we had a good old funky time. And
Okay, because I know y'all gonna get me. Like, how you gonna start a whole nother story and you didn't even finish your story? Don't clock my tea. This is gonna be part 4 to dating the Incubus and didn't know it. So I left off on the part about me having the dream, about the entity hovering over Terrence, hovering over me. So now that I've had this dream, I'm tapped in. I'm done ignoring the signs. I'm fully aware of what's going on. The plot thickens, y'all. Terrence started to become extremely weird after that. He started calling me mommy, and not the ayo ma. I mean, physically, he would curl up in a ball, especially after sexy time. You know what I mean? He would curl up in the fetal position and start calling me mommy. Like, literally, like, mommy, like, hold me. And I'm not exaggerating, y'all. And so now I'm weirded out because what are you doing? Why? And every time I would ask him, like, stop calling me that. What is that about? Why do you keep saying mommy? He wouldn't even remember what I was talking about, y'all. Like, almost like he was in a trance. So fast forward 2 weeks later. Yeah, I'm still dealing with Terrence. And we back at Miss Shirley's house. So I wake up. He's gone. Nowhere to be found. And at this point, this is like his 3rd or 4th time waking up early in the morning, taking my car, not letting me know what's going on, not sending me no text messages, just vanishing. On this particular day, I get up, I take a shower, and I'm kind of annoyed because why do you keep getting up and taking my car without asking me? I get out the shower, open the door, getting ready to go in his room so that I can change. And Miss Shirley is standing outside the bathroom door, I kid you not, literally just waiting on me to come out the bathroom. And this is how she was looking at me, y'all, like dead, like a look of disgust almost. She goes to say, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good morning, Miss Shirley. How are you? How's your morning been going? Oh, I'm fine, but I need to talk to you. Okay, fair enough. Let me get dressed and I'll come and talk to you. Miss Shirley always wanted to have a conversation with me in her room privately, like a mob boss. Never understood why. So at this point, I'm on high alert. I'm fully aware of what's going on around me, and I'm kind of trying to play it cool while finding out more information. So I go in Miss Shirley's room, and I never really looked around her room just because I never wanted to be in her room. But something kept telling me, like, scan the room, look around, pay attention. So on her dresser, she had like a little jar, something like this big, and it had like a red solution in it. And next to the jar, she had like a makeup brush, like a foundation brush. Miss Shirley notices me looking around. She stands directly in front of me at this point, and now she's starting to talk about his birthday. Here she is. Oh, well, you know, Terrence's birthday is coming up. We want to plan a trip, and I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it because, you know, we have little time to work with. We want to go to Puerto Rico. You buy your ticket, buy Terrence's ticket, and buy my ticket, and everybody else to get their own ticket. And so, completely thrown off guard by this, I'm like, well, what do you mean you need me to pay for your ticket? I get it, it's Terrence's birthday. I'll pay for his ticket. But why do I need to pay for your ticket? So Miss Shirley goes, well, I'm his mother. I'm the most important woman in his life. Why would you not want to make sure that I'm okay and that I'm comfortable to go on this trip? Now I'm confused. I'm looking around. I'm kind of trying to figure out, what does that have to do with me? Well, Miss Shirley, I understand that. But at the same time, it's not your birthday. She goes to say, Terrence will usually have you all broken in by now. I'm not sure why you're not wanting to conform, but I'll have a conversation with Terrence. Don't worry about it. And then she kind of just dismissed me out of her room. Who is y'all? Conform? What are you talking about? So y'all, it's almost like night and day. As soon as I'm done talking to her, Terrence pulls up. He pulls up, just came back from the mall. He got gifts and whatnot. Still not understanding, where is he making money? How is he going and buying gifts? But I'm so thrown off by the conversation I had with Miss Shirley, it kind of goes out of my head at this point. Now I'm just ready to go home. Terrence notices how standoffish I am, and he asks me, well, what's wrong with you? I tell him I'm not really feeling his mom. You know, she's kind of insinuating that I need to pay for her ticket. She's really giving entitled, and I don't understand why would I have to pay for her ticket. And on top of that, where were you? He says, well, I think we should have this conversation downstairs in the basement. Now, the last time I went downstairs in that basement, his eyes turned black. I don't want to go back in that basement. I go, well, I don't want to go downstairs. I'm actually getting ready to leave, so I'll just talk to you later. I'm walking out the room. Miss Shirley appears at the bottom of the steps. Hey, y'all. I think we should talk in the basement. We're going to have a family meeting. I tell Miss Shirley, actually, I have a few errands to run. I have to go, but I'll come back later and we can talk. So all of a sudden, Terrence snatches my keys out of my hand. Now, I'm a little shocked that he just snatched my keys out of my hand. Now I kind of look back at Miss Shirley like, you know, check your son. She's looking pleased. She's looking very satisfied. Y'all, Miss Shirley did one of the... She did like a head notion to Terrence. Y'all know what time it is. If you want a part 5, get this video.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teach you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell, so if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money. And I even have some easy, powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to sender. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, you know, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, you know, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my